Hello and welcome, my dearest buddy. This letter has arrived at the perfect time, and if you've been experiencing stress about your work, money, or career path, you're going to realize why. Here is the truth. Most people are unaware that when God desires to change someone's life, He does it via more than just connections or emotions. He begins with the area that determines your everyday reality, work. And if you're reading this right now, it's because your work has been in the spiritual limelight for weeks. You didn't have the words to express it, but you felt it. The uneasiness and pressure in your chest before you clock in indicate that something is wrong, even when nothing seems incorrect on paper. The late-night thoughts of leaving just before you convince yourself to remain. The lack of motivation does not equal the amount of work you are putting in. This is not burnout or laziness, and it is certainly not about being ungrateful. This is heavenly intervention, because when heaven wishes to relocate you, it begins by making your previous home seem too tiny for you to fit in. The chosen ones, please hear me. God has been observing how you handle yourself, even in situations that no longer nourish you. He has seen you giving your best in locations where you are scarcely seen. He has witnessed how you can contain your fury while still showing up with honesty. He has heard the silence. Why am I still here? You whisper in the vehicle before entering your shift. Today, heaven responds to you. If this message has already struck a chord with you, please take a moment to like it so that it may reach others in need. That modest action is how these signals spread to the remainder of the selected ones. Looking for clarification right now. My dear buddy, your work has been spiritually reviewed. Not because you're failing, not because you're doing anything incorrectly, but because the way you've been working, the honesty, the effort, the discipline has yielded results. Heaven hates to let anything go to waste. You have been performing with perfection in an environment that does not value excellence. You've outgrown systems that won't adapt to your changing needs. You've established trustworthiness in an atmosphere that no longer merits what you provide. That's why the pressure has risen. That is why you have been impatient. That's why even the tiniest things are bothering you more than usual. This is why your soul continues whispering. There needs to be more, because there's more. Let me make this point very apparent. You know those days at work when everything seems heavier than usual. Tasks that previously seemed easy now consume you. People you used to interact with suddenly seem distant. You glance around and realize you're performing the job of 3 people while receiving no acknowledgement. That is not random. That is spiritual disharmony manifesting itself in everyday life. God is allowing the earth under your feet to become unpleasant. Not to punish you, but to relocate your chosen ones. Your name is being discussed in ways you are unaware of. Someone is studying your work ethic. Someone is quietly pleased with your constancy. Someone has recognized that you are carrying something unusual, something that cannot be taught or duplicated. And while you consider build stability in future moves, heaven is already rearranging the parts of your tale. Your job is more than simply a job. It is a stage on which God will unveil the next version of you. For some of you, this means being elevated from where you are right now. For others, new opportunities and locations you have never applied for. Some involve a complete career change. And for a few, God is prepared to create something new through you. But all of it starts with this. Heaven would not allow you to remain someplace that keeps your spirit tiny. You have been giving more than you are getting, carrying the weight without a title, solving issues without credit. You provided stability for a complete team without being recognized as a reason it operates. And God is saying, I saw everything you thought no one saw. The chosen ones, pay careful attention now. Your financial situation is changing not because you pushed it, but because heaven has determined that the season of being devalued is over. This explains why your emotions have been unpredictable at work. This is why your soul refuses to let you settle. This is why the work you previously tolerated suddenly seems cramped, noisy, and tiny. Your surroundings are receding because your calling is growing. And as God's calling grows, He starts to change everything related to your supply, income, placement, stability, and possibilities. Something's moving. Something is aligning. Something is breaking open. The transformation will not be subtle. Let's go further into what's going on around you right now, because the change you're about to make isn't just emotional. It is structural. It is occurring in areas you can't see yet, and it is going to materialize in a manner that you will be unable to ignore. You've been working with a type of fortitude that most people don't comprehend, turning up on days when you felt empty and completing projects even when your soul wanted to be somewhere else, bearing teams, deadlines, and pressure while pretending everything was okay. But heaven didn't miss a moment of it. And now that your calling is increasing, God is sending subtle indicators that your season is moving. If you look attentively, you may have seen them already. Things that used to go easily now seem weighty. People who formerly relied on you seem distant or unpredictable. The mood is strange, almost as if you're standing in a corridor between two doors, one closed and one not yet open. And this is the truth. Many of you need to know you're not losing motivation. You are losing your tolerance. You're losing your tolerance of being devalued, underpaid, disregarded, and surrounded by people who don't recognize what God created in you. Heaven is diminishing your tolerance, preventing you from settling in a location that was never intended to host your next chapter. This is important, my friend, when God moves your task. He does not just modify your career, He transforms you first. He broadens your ability, sharpens your perception, fortifies your voice, deepens your clarity, and then adapts your surroundings to fit. This is why things feel tight. That explains why workplace talks seem different. That's why you get a sensation of spiritual tension whenever you step into the same familiar building. It is not anxiousness. You are not overthinking. It's an alignment. Pushing against limitation and alignment is always successful. Some of you will notice the following article pretty soon. People at your workplace are going to regard you differently, not because you changed anything, but because your spirit has. Your presence has weight. Your limits are now clearer. Your patience has backbone. Your silence carries authority. Your thoughts seem crisper. Your energy seems more concentrated. People will sense the elevation even if you do not proclaim it. Elevation transmits itself. That's why some people around you may begin behaving suspiciously, distancing themselves, criticizing you, or becoming too interested in your actions. It's not because they know what's going to happen. It's because they can sense the change in the environment around you before you can. God is raising you, and the change is flowing into your energy. Chosen ones, allow me to address straight the issue you've been battling with for most of your provision. For too long, you've been attempting to convert just enough into more than enough. Every month, you engage in mental acrobatics, attempting to align numbers that were never intended to align without God's assistance. You've been under financial strain that doesn't equal the level of responsibilities you've taken on. But listen to me. Heaven is improving the source, not the fight. God isn't pushing you to labor harder. He is placing you to work smarter, more aligned, and where your talent is appreciated rather than depleted. And that's why your spirit has been saying, I can't stay here forever. That whisper is not fear, it is a prophecy. Let me paint a picture of what's happening for some of you. Your value meetings are being discussed behind closed doors. You aren't making choices you don't understand yet. You will not be notified of any shifts until they arrive. Someone with power has already seen your efforts and is about to open a door you did not ask for. For others, God is preparing you for an unexpected opportunity that fits perfectly with everything you've been carrying. And for a select few, God is calling you to a level of creativity, leadership, or independence you never believed possible, since you are the one destined to create it. Please listen to me since this is a crucial section. Your patience was not wasted. Your allegiance was not hidden. Your quiet perseverance was not forgotten. Heaven has been capturing every moment of it. And now that your calling has grown, God is matching your labor to your merit. A raise will not make you feel better. A title will not help, however, since what is moving is not a position. It's about identity. You are evolving into someone who is no longer suited to tiny positions, someone whose speech conveys solutions, someone whose presence varies, the stability of a space, someone whose talent generates possibilities simply by being fully expressed. This is why God is modifying your work environment, not to cause disruption, but to generate momentum. God is placing you where your worth is undeniable, where your gift is needed, where your presence is honored, where your work is recognized, and where your income reflects the weight of what you carry. And when it lands, when the door opens, when the opportunity appears, when the shift becomes visible, you will look back on this season and realize heaven did not break you. Heaven was preparing you, and now you are ready. I would love to see you there.